Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the IWC Portuguese Perpetual Calendar, reference IW502306, 44 millimeters in red gold, brushed and polished. You can see this IWC Perpetual Calendar on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there if you like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. You can see on my wrist 16 centimeters, 6 1/3 inches in circumference. This IWC 5023 has an imposing stance. Now its immediate predecessor, the 5022, which ran from 2006 to 2009, was a little bit smaller, but 42 millimeters, yet just as thick. That watch was also 16 millimeters thick. The proportions of the 5022 didn't quite do justice to the elegance of the concept. So IWC for 2010 brought back the 44, allowing the dial to breathe, allowing the case to span the wrist, to stretch out, and regain that relatively flat aspect ratio, 16 to 44 millimeters. I will say that it wears quite easy on the wrist. It's less brutal in its stance than the IWC Pilot or Big Pilot Perpetual calendars. Now those typically span 56 millimeters from lug to lug. Here it's a little bit more pared down, 53 millimeters from extremity to extremity. The watch actually sits securely on my wrist, and I would go so far as to say that even if your wrist is 15 centimeters in circumference, you're going to have no trouble wearing this watch securely. I do want to mention that 16 millimeters thick, it nevertheless doesn't really hang up a sleeve, simply because the clever use of a concave and polished bezel allows a sleeve or a cuff to get a running start up and over the bezel and over the sapphire. It's surprisingly compatible with tighter dress cuffs. The watch does have immense heft, so that's one part of the fit and feel element of this timepiece that I really can't overemphasize. This is what a luxury watch feels like. This is top of the class in terms of red gold, fit, finish, and detailing, and the watch feels every one of those 44 millimeters of precious metal. Now you can also see that the strap, a big part of the ergonomic equation, is very flexible. There's no constraint at the point where the lugs and the strap join, so you can bend it down straight around a smaller wrist. You can get a good purchase on the tight curve of a smaller forearm, and IWC never skimps with these deployants. Beautiful, big, bold, equal to the gravitas and occasion of the watch itself. This is a completely finished 18-karat red gold clasp, brushed, polished, and very secure with the IWC logo blazoned. It's just as impressive as this dial, and make no mistake, this dial is impressive. Now in 2003, the very first versions of the Portuguese Perpetual calendar featured a little bit of a quirky double twin hemisphere moon phase, so you can see the moon phase in the northern and southern hemispheres. This is known as the Bosom moon phase by IWC collectors. It's a little bit more constrained, a little bit more focused, and with the moon disk and stars blazoned in the blue lacquer, it's also more elegant and I feel more traditionally romantic. Now you can see classic Portuguese imagery. You see the Arabic numerals in the late Art Deco style. You can see the railroad minute and seconds track. You can see the delicate foy hands in matching red gold, and I should mention that all of the numerals are applied red gold. But what I want to focus on here is that for once I can really highlight the functionality of the Kurt Claus Perpetual Calendar module, because I've got one of these watches with the Kurt Claus Perpetual module, IWC's in-house perpetual system, that has run down and fallen a few months behind. So what I'm going to do first is show you winding of the watch. We're going to bring this big balance up to speed. Let's get the big balance on camera here. But we're going to wind it. Now you can see that balance, free sprung, Breguet overcoil hairspring, giant in an almost pocket watch fashion, beating away at 3 Hertz, 21,600 vibrations per hour. And I've often touted how the Kurt Claus system is as easy as adjusting the date on a quick change Rolex. Well, the bottom line is I'm going to show you now how you adjust every single indication of the perpetual calendar simply by adjusting the date. Everything else, including the moon phase, falls into line. Mathematically fixed. You can never get them out of sync. So now I'm going to look, and I see it's December. I see it is late December, and I see that the watch thinks it is a Wednesday. So I'm going to begin advancing, and you can see the date at 3 o'clock is advancing through the days of January now. You can see the month indicator at 6 o'clock has jumped to January. You can see the days of the week flying by at 9 o'clock, and you can see the moon turning through its phases, its 29 and a half day cycle at 12 o'clock. Now as we approach the jump to February, you're going to see the month change at 6 o'clock. There it goes. And I'm going to adjust to today's date, which is the 8th. There we go. I've just set a perpetual calendar forward several months. I didn't check a moon chart. I didn't look at the lunar phases. I didn't double check to make sure that the 8th is also, or pardon me, the 7th. Nope, the 8th is also a Monday, and I didn't double check to make sure Monday, February 8th corresponds to a waxing moon. And the bottom line is, not just all of these indications, but also the year, the decade, and the century are coordinated. I want to focus on the case back one more time because it's worth it. You're looking at IWC's caliber 51613, 62 joules. This is a completely in-house automatic winding movement, bidirectional, shock-protected Albert Peloton pawl-based winding. You can actually see the pawl that actuates the winding system. Right here, you can see the pawls. In this case, the pawls are actually crafted of ceramic, so while the system was originally conceived in 1950, you can see that it's kept a pace of the times in terms of material science. 168-hour, 7-day power reserve, free-sprung balance with Breguet over coil hairspring, handmade, a stately 3 Hz, so you can hear it beating at that evocative pocket watch cadence. And of course, it is the world's largest automatic winding caliber, built for oversized cases, built in-house by IWC. This is a watch that has it all. Beautiful, elegant. It has masculine proportions and detailing. It has remarkably refined features on dial, movement, strap, deployant, and of course, the industry's best and most user-friendly perpetual calendar module. You can see it and you can purchase it for February 29th, the perpetual calendar day, on our website, watchyouwant.com.